The movie starts with a newlywed couple as they run through the hallways, eager for the start of their new lives. They are spending the first night of their honeymoon at an isolated lodge. The couple is planning on going on a night hike, but before they can leave, there is a knock on the door. They feel irritated by this intrusion, yet the husband still opens the door to see who it is. There stands a strange man, who at first introduces himself as a member of staff here, but then suddenly tells them to not go on a night hike. He warns them that there's someone is waiting for them in the dark. Despite this, the couple fail to heed the man's strange warning and leave the comfort of their honeymoon suite to go and explore the wilderness. The hike is cancelled, yet the husband assures his wife that he knows where to go and promises to protect her against all odds. They have just started the hike, though, and they are already lost. The wife begs him to stop and just go back where they came from, but despite her pleading, Greg, her husband, refuses to stop and keeps on going. She is scared and almost gets into a fight with Greg over this, but he still doesn't stop. In the distance, he sees two strange blue lights in the dark and walks towards them, and all the while, his wife is continuously telling him not to. As he gets closer, they see a woman standing there in a strange trance, and a man attacks her from the side. She falls onto the ground and lies there, motionless. Greg is in shock and doesn't move. This is the same man who warned them earlier. Strangely, he apologizes to Greg before attacking him. The wife runs for her life as Greg's agonized screams can be heard in the background. The man eventually catches up to her, and, with one last reminder that he warned them, he hits her with an axe. 6 months have passed since the incident, and we are introduced to Bo and his older sister Maisie. Unlike Maisie, who is confident, Bo is the complete opposite. He is a shy, awkward teenager. Maisie is going to attend a college reunion and invites Bo. Since their parents passed away, Maisie has always looked after Bo and includes him in everything so he doesn't feel left out or less loved. Bo is searching for the place where they are going, and an article about the missing couple comes up. Bo asks Maisie if they are going to Besor, the place where the couple went missing, but she assures him that they are going to Chillicoot, which is a couple of hours away from there. Due to his social anxiety, Bo is reluctant to go on the trip, but nevertheless agrees because of Maisie. The next day, Maisie and Bo meet up with Maisie's old mates. They all seem very gentle with Bo. They all head to the lodges in separate vehicles. Bo and Maisie ride with Ravi, Asher, his girlfriend Pam, and their friend Chelsea. During the car ride, they keep on talking and reminiscing about good old times. All of Maisie's friends are very considerate of Bo, just like her. They talk about their old classmates and how they have all grown up now. Maisie tells everyone about Bo's love for cinematography, and they all seem to appreciate it. While everyone seems happy, Pam appears to be irritated and annoyed. She seems younger and immature, but no one questions it. Ravi and Maisie appear closer than the others, and they talk the most with each other. This doesn't go unnoticed by Chelsea. The topic of camping comes up, and everyone shares how they love it. But unlike others, Pam feels it's unnecessary, as you are just paying to be homeless. They all ignore her remarks and continue to talk about other things. As they continue to drive further, the buildings start to disappear and the beauty of nature begins to surround them. Finally, they ask Asher how he met Pam, and he tells them a made-up story, but Ravi catches him lying, and Asher has no option but to tell them the truth. He reveals that Pam is actually one of his students and has just graduated high school. The conversation quickly turns awkward, and everyone cannot help but feel disgusted. Ravi changes the topic of discussion and instead asks Bo about his life goals. Bo tells them that he plans to do cinematography in college, as he loves filming things. Suddenly, their car stops in the middle of the road and everyone gets out. Ravi assures the rest of the caravan that his car only needs a rest for 5 minutes, and then it will be back on. Despite their offer to stay, he tells them to go ahead and promises that they will be following them shortly. They all spend their time messing around and talking with each other. Chelsea has noticed the romantic tension between Ravi and Maisie. They obviously like each other, but haven't talked about it yet. There probably is some history between the two, but it appears that it's in the past, as Bo tells Chelsea that they haven't talked since college. Bo seems uneasy because their car stopped in the middle of the road, but Maisie reminds him that it's part of the journey. Even these little stops will make this more memorable for them. If only they knew back then what was about to happen to them. Maisie asks Bo to instead focus on the view and enjoy the beauty of this place. She grabs the camera from Bo and asks him how he feels about the journey so far. Bo reveals that he feels a little awkward because of Asher and Pam, but other than that, he is having a great time. To loosen him up a little bit, Maisie tells him to yell into the mountains that he is having a good time being there with them. He is hesitant and shy, so Maisie and all of the group come together to make him feel more comfortable, and they all do it together. The car still hasn't started yet. As they are waiting, the same man from earlier, named Ripper, approaches them and offers his help. The group declines his offer, as the man appears incoherent and dangerous. He is holding an axe in his hand, which alerts the group instantly. They all ignore him, but he refuses to leave. Asher asks him why he is holding an axe, and Ripper reveals that it's for the wood. He likes to rip apart wood, and that's why he even named himself Ripper. He asks the group where they are going, but they are hesitant to tell him, and considering his demeanor, they are making the right choice. Due to his threatening them not to go forward, he and Asher almost get into an argument, but thankfully Asher is held back, and things don't escalate. He warns them not to go ahead, but just like the couple, they fail to heed his advice, and as soon as their engine starts running, they resume their journey again. As their car is pulling away, Ripper continues to look at them menacingly, as if he is waiting for them to make a wrong move so he can tear them apart. They are far behind the rest of the caravan, and as a result, lose their way. They make some wrong turns because they have no idea where they are, but Asher claims he does. The path they are on is surrounded by woods, and there isn't even a proper road, but Asher insists that they should keep going forward, as he is confident that this is the right way. They are completely lost now, and even Asher doesn't know where they are headed. It's going to get dark soon, and they have to figure out something before dusk. Surprisingly, they see a stranger on the road and ask him for directions. The man named Dave appears welcoming and joyful. He informs them that they are almost 3.5 hours away from their destination. Now they will probably need a place to stay for the night, as it's already getting dark, but the group has nowhere to go because of his welcoming nature. And seeing that the group is in trouble, Dave reveals that he is camping just down the road and generously invites them to stay with him for the night. The campsite is the most beautiful place they have ever seen. It's high above the ground on top of the mountain, surrounded by trees. While others put up some tents, Maisie and Bo play joyfully, just like when they used to as little kids. Bo has nothing else to do, so he films everyone randomly. He even records Asher and Pam having an intimate moment. Chelsea introduces herself to the camera and reveals that although she has a degree in communications, she is just a bartender. This doesn't stop her from dreaming about bigger things. The only thing she wants to do is travel around the world and explore more places. She wants to be free. As she is busy talking to the camera, Asher walks into the frame and begins doing goofy stuff, making Bo laugh out loud. Eventually, Chelsea catches him, but instead of scolding him for ruining her moment, she laughs it off. Ravi and Maisie are talking when Bo leaves, and once he is gone, Maisie reveals that Bo has been diagnosed with borderline Asperger's. Ravi confesses that despite Bo's condition, he is glad that they both came. He is happy that Maisie was able to put aside everything that has happened between them, indicating that they had previously been in a relationship. Maisie lets him know that she is happy to be there, and they both hold hands, giving us a sign that they still have feelings for each other. Suddenly it starts raining, and they all get under the shade that Dave has prepared. Dave isn't alone. He also has his wife, Stephanie, and their dog Pickles with him. It's just the three of them in the family, but they appear to love each other immensely. The family is wholesome, and they are happy to host the group. It's not their first time here either, and they are familiar with the area, but the couple mention that this time, something is different. The weather seems unpredictable and almost aggressive. Dave shows him their supply tent, which is filled with almost everything that they might need during their stay. The group is thankful for everything that the couple is doing for them. Day turns into night, and now the rain has finally stopped. The weather today is truly a mystery for them. A huge campfire blazes in the center as everyone sits around it and gets to know each other more. Dave tells them that the reason why their dog is named Pickles is that she really likes pickle juice. Seeing her love for the juice, they just randomly named her Pickles, and she loves it. The group laugh as they hear this cute story. The conversation turns serious when they tell Dave about Ripper and how he creeped them out. Maisie thinks that it was probably a joke, and this incident shouldn't be taken seriously. But nevertheless, if they again encounter the Ripper, they'll still be terrified of him. The couple tell him that despite being in the area many times, they haven't seen a man of such description. As they are busy talking about him, Maisie hears some noises from the distance, but dismisses the idea of someone being here with them, thinking that she might have misheard it. Asher insists that instead of going to sleep, they should go on a little adventure and explore the woods. Chelsea doesn't want to, and announces that she will be sleeping peacefully, but Asher doesn't want to go without her. He tells her that she has to come with them, and has no other option. He convinces everyone to explore the area, even at night. Despite everyone's initial reluctance, they all agree. They walk in the dark through the trees, looking for some adventure. Ravi and Asher are messing around when they find a backbone, but have no idea what animal it belongs to. Thinking that it's probably nothing, they continue to move forward. Asher suddenly disappears, and Bo is looking for him when he suddenly jumps out of nowhere and scares Bo. Bo, who is already feeling anxious, is almost about to cry when Maisie approaches him and lets him know that it's okay. Bo wants to go, but Maisie convinces him to stay with them. Even Pam thinks that Asher crossed the line, and when everyone asks him to apologize to the poor boy, he does, and Bo forgives him. They all promise to protect him, and once it's all figured out, they continue walking. After walking for several minutes, they finally see something interesting. They all stop when they see strange blue lights on the ground. It's the same place where the couple earlier in the movie was hunted by Ripper. It appears to be some kind of ceremonial burial, but they are not sure yet. It's an altar, and Asher, despite everyone's concerns, approaches the site. He tries to pull the knife from the stone, while everyone tells him not to. As Asher is doing so, Bo bends down and without thinking, grabs one of the blue shining stones from the ground. It appears to be calling him, as if wanting to be picked up by Bo. But as soon as he does this, something strange happens, and everyone feels it. A weird noise is heard, and it feels like the ground beneath them has shaken. They notice that one of the skulls in the stone has started bleeding. As soon as the group sees this strange phenomenon, they panic and leave immediately. They return to the campsite, shaken to the core because of what they have seen. There are different theories about what happened back there, but none of them answer their questions. The group decide that they'll not disturb Dave tonight, but will tell him about what happened early in the morning. Without checking up on the couple, they just go to sleep so the night can pass by quickly. Inside, Maisie assures Bo that the next day will definitely bring them more joy. She is forward to meeting up with the rest of the crew and spending time with her old classmates, just as they had planned. Bo believes her and is comforted by her words. They all go to sleep except for Asher. Despite everything that has happened, he is still feeling mischievous, so he steals Bo's camera and decides to explore some more. He goes back to his tent in hopes of waking Pam up. Instead, she tells him to get back in and quit creating more problems for him and everyone else. Seeing that no one is willing to take part in his silly adventures, he is on his way to Bo's tent to return the camera when he sees Chelsea looking at him. Bo wakes up in the middle of the night due to some strange noises coming from outside. He goes to check, but instead finds Asher and Chelsea having an intimate moment. He panics and tries to leave, but all this commotion has woken up Pam. Nevertheless, Bo makes it back to his tent. Before he goes in, his camera captures Ripper standing at a distance with an axe in his hands, watching them all. The rest of the night is rather uneventful, but when they wake up the next day, they find out that the car keys are gone. They almost get into a fight, blaming each other for what is happening. When Bo suggests that they might have lost the keys at Dave's, as they spent some time there last night, they call out the couple's names, but no one can be seen anywhere. They notice that something is strange. As they come closer, they can clearly see the blood splatter across the tent. This makes them all panic, as they begin to suspect that something terrible might have happened to the couple. Pickles is all right, but there is no sign of Dave and Stephanie. They are stranded in a place with nowhere to go. And now, seeing all this makes them all the more fearful for their lives. Pam suggests that it could have been Ripper, as he was the only one following them. They shouldn't have come here. And now the only thing to do is get back to their car. That is the only safe place for them right now. Their situation is so grave that even Asher is silent. They all grab something to defend themselves with and continue to look for the keys, so they can get out of there as soon as possible. Ravi manages to find the keys, and everyone gives a sigh of relief. Hurriedly, they all get into the car, eager to leave this place. But soon they are faced with another hurdle. When they try to turn on the car, it doesn't start. Upon checking, they find out that the battery is missing. Someone stole it purposefully so they couldn't escape. Their only hope of leaving this place is gone now. In a distance, they hear a man shouting and think that it might be Dave. They all decide to help him, as he might be their only way out of there. Luckily, Chelsea has a gun, so she leads the way as they follow the trail of blood in the hopes of finding the missing couple. Bo doesn't want to go, but the group convinces him that this might be their only option of getting out of there alive. Once again, after his sister assures him, Bo agrees to go. As they continue to walk, the sound of grunting and growling becomes clearer. They are all alert for any possible danger and hold their weapons tightly, ready to attack anything. Finally, they make it to the altar, but instead of Dave, they find Ripper standing there. He appears to be frustrated and blames the group for releasing something. Out of nowhere, he turns around and runs towards them. But before he can attack, Chelsea shoots the Ripper multiple times, and he falls down. Chelsea is in shock at what she has done. Asher gently takes the gun from Chelsea's hand and puts it aside, so no one else gets hurt. They all sit down, contemplating their next move, when Asher suggests that they should bury Ripper. They assure Chelsea that what she did was self-defense, and necessary in order for them to survive. Now, to avoid any further complications, they cannot tell anyone about Ripper. In their minds, he probably deserves this fate, as they also hold him responsible for Dave's and Stephanie's disappearance. To everyone's surprise, Bo, who is usually quiet and reserved, offers to bring the shovel. He is doing so only so that he can protect his sister. As he goes, Maisie asks him to be careful, and he assures her that he will be. Bo finds a shovel easily, and once he has it in his hands, he starts to walk. On his way to the group, he stops to pee and sets his camera down. Hauntingly, as he is doing so, in the background, we can see a strange creature looking at Bo. It appears to be neither human nor animal, but because the camera is out of focus, we don't see much. Surprisingly, Bo makes it back to the group safely, and as decided earlier, they bury Ripper so that no one can find him. The night has arrived, but they still have no idea how to get out of there. They go through all their options, and after deliberation, they come to the conclusion that they have to stay the night. There is no other option. Although things don't seem to be going their way, they are hopeful that the next day will bring them new opportunity. They plan on going down the mountain on foot and getting some cell service. Once this happens, they will contact their friends and leave this place for good. Asher and Ravi take turns guarding the place while the others sleep. Ripper is gone, but they still fear that some danger might be lurking in the shadows. Bo offers to guard them, but Asher refuses and instead tells him to sleep without worrying about anything. Bo cannot sleep, and seeing that Ravi is with Maisie, he goes to check up on Asher. Asher nearly shoots Bo when he appears out of nowhere. He notices the stone in Bo's hand that he picked up from the burial site earlier, but Bo assures him that it's merely a stone and nothing more. Bo tries to apologize for the previous night, when he found Chelsea and Asher together, but this only infuriates Asher even more. He grabs Bo's camera and tries to film him, when suddenly, a strangle-looking hand extends out from behind Bo. Bo manages to take the camera back from Asher, but when he looks at him again, he nearly faints. Asher's throat has been cut, and he falls to the ground, choking and gasping for air. With a promise of getting some help, Bo runs back to the tents and screams, which wakes everyone up. They all grab their things and run to save him, but when they reach the site, Asher is nowhere to be found. Only his blood remains, which confuses the group even more. How could he disappear in mere second? They still haven't given up and continue to look for their friend, praying that he is still alive. They are searching the area in confusion and panic when a gun goes off out of nowhere and the bullet hits Pam. Chelsea tries to stop the bleeding, but it's of no use. Chelsea asks Pam to forgive her for what she has done, and soon after that, Pam passes away. Chelsea looks at Bo with her hands bloodied, but instead of helping, Bo does something unexpected next. He stabs Chelsea, and she falls to the ground in confusion, betrayal written all over her face. Demonic whispers can be heard emitting from the stone as Bo turns the camera around and looks directly into it with a blank expression. He lets go of the camera and it floats in the air. With a knife in his hands, Bo runs, and the camera follows him. He attacks Ravi, who tries to stop him, and then comes face to face with his own sister. Maisie tells him to stop, and reminds him again and again that she is his sister, but all her attempts seem unfruitful as Bo seems unfazed by her cries and despair. He moves forward, ready to attack her, but before he can, Ravi comes out of nowhere and fatally injures him. Maisie grieves for her brother, refusing to leave his side, but Ravi drags her away, reminding her that they still need to get out of there. The movie ends with Bo lying face down, and the strange creature finally revealing herself to the camera.